A surprise in Minnesota as Adrian Peterson is in attendance at Vikings voluntary OTAs today. Peterson hasn't been on the field with the Vikings in just under 9 months. That's week 1 of last season. He spent the final 15 weeks of the season on the commissioner's exempt list. AD and head coach Mike Zimmer scheduled to have a news conference at 2:30 local time. That is 3:30 Eastern. We're going to be bringing you that live as it happens. Right now, let's head to New York and bring in NFL Media's Judy Battista. You've been following this back and forth from the beginning, as the rest of us have. It seems like forever. Are you surprised that he actually showed up at OTAs when historically he hasn't been in attendance?
I'm not surprised. He really had no other move to make, Dan. I think it was just a question of when he would show up. You're right, he has skipped OTAs in the past, but I think really the end of the game had arrived. He had to make a decision. He was either going to show up or not show up at all, and that would have meant he was considering retirement. I don't think anybody thought that that was a serious consideration for Adrian Peterson. But once the Vikings made it clear that he was going to play for them or no one, if you remember, Coach Mike Zimmer said that aloud at OTAs last week. It was clear that they were not going to trade him after the draft passed, and they were certainly not going to release him and let him choose his next team. So once they made all of that clear, there was no other move to make. I mean, staying off the field would have meant forfeiting all the money he is due to make this season. You couldn't envision him doing that. So I really thought it was just a matter of if, not when.
Yeah, all the money, a pile of money, almost $13 million, the highest paid running back in the NFL. So does this mean his relationship with the team is on the mend, perhaps a renegotiated contract with more guaranteed money down the road?
Well, let's be clear. I don't think that Adrian Peterson's relationship with his teammates or his coaches was ever bad. I think Mike Zimmer, much to his credit, kept a good line of communication open with Adrian Peterson throughout all of last season when he was on the commissioner's exempt list, when he was going through his legal issues. I think Mike Zimmer kept communicating with him, and he never let that relationship go sour. Now, I don't know how Adrian Peterson's agent feels about the Vikings. Adrian Peterson had expressed concern about how the organization had treated him, but that was about really one person, Kevin Warren, who's the chief operating officer of the Vikings. But let's face it, Kevin Warren is not on the field day to day. That is a front office issue that can be worked out with his agent. But I expect that Adrian Peterson, now that he is back in the fold, I think things are going to be smoothed over rather quickly with the coaching staff and with his teammates.
All right, Judy, Adrian Peterson there at OTAs. Does this mean we can expect to see him at the rest of OTAs this offseason, or perhaps he's just one and done?
Well, I expect that he'll probably address that. It seems that he is there to stay now, that he's going to go through OTAs and then minicamp. He does have some money coming to him if he is at a certain amount of OTAs. So you would think that the Vikings will probably pay him that, and he'll stick around.
Judy Battista at 345 Park, NFL headquarters. Thank you, Judy.